Hello there, my name is Daniel Langley. I'm going to be taking you through my assessment for today, presentation today. So I'll just get straight into it. So on the first slide, explain why it's important to identify and meet individual learning needs. So as it says there, no two people retain information in the same way. On the right hand side there, we've got a diagram of the four main ways in how people break it down into how we learn. So it's visual, auditory, read or write, and kinesthetic. So we might use 1, 2, 3, or 4, but people can have one that they favour stronger than the other. So trying to find a way that is important in how it works for everyone to learn the best by trying to include one or all of them in your work. So as an example there, it says allowing autonomy in a classroom is an excellent effort to allow delegates to think for themselves in their own way. The downside is that some may struggle with the lack of structure that you have from it. So giving someone a task to do and saying, or a group of saying, go away and get to this goal and find a way to get there. That's great for some people that can go out and they can learn whatever way they want. They can go and research, they can just get hands-on straight away, look at pictures, look through books. So they're using whichever learning method they want. Some people might struggle with that though, having that much freedom and not having something structured to say do this and do that. And that's where us as trainers might need to give them a little bit more extra help to do that. The next slide is explain ways to maintain a safe and positive learning experience. So on the right hand side there you've got Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Starting off at the bottom from the physiological needs, safety needs, love, belonging, esteem and self-actualization. So as it says there, the theory is broken down into 5 main tiers, and to truly feel safe in the learning setting, environment and physical factors need to be reviewed. So when we're setting up a class, and when we're taking a class of learners, we need to make sure that we've got with physiological needs, is the toilet facilities, is the teas and coffees to make sure that people are hydrated and alert and ready. There's nothing worse than if you've got a room full of people that can't go to the toilet and they can't get anything to drink. They're not going to feel great to start off with, and you set yourself off on the wrong foot. You then go into your safety needs. So making sure people feel safe in the room. Is everyone okay with sitting? Do they know the fire exits are? Or they're aware of that if there's a first aider in the building? Things like that. Also, you've got, is everyone in the room being okay? Is anyone acting up or making someone feel small or anything like that, and you try to get on top of that straight away. So just trying to make sure that everyone feels safe and secure within that working environment, and that gives everyone a great footing to look at the rest of that hierarchy going forward. Describe features of inclusive teaching and learning. So embodying DE&I culture as the foundation of ensuring an environment is created to promote success for both the teacher and the learner. So diversity, equity and inclusion, as it says there, we're looking at inclusive teaching and learning. So if we're hitting that and really embodying that culture, then we're going to make everyone feel included, because we're looking at everyone's needs and what they need from us and making them feel included from it. Adapting and implementing different teaching styles to overcome barriers and challenges to enrich the learning experience for all. So if you do have someone with a disability or someone that's maybe got learning difficulties in the class, for instance, trying to adapt your teaching style, so giving them a little bit more support, maybe giving them one-to-one tutoring at times when you set the rest of the room off with a task, trying to give them a little bit extra help to get them through, break down their barriers and really give them the enrichment that they need. And as it says on the bottom there, clear set goals, so they understand what they're going to, what they're trying to get to, and what's going to be the outcome from what you're doing in that class. Explain why it's important to provide opportunities for learners to develop their maths, English and IT skills. So in day-to-day life now, maths, English and more so than ever IT is fundamental to everything we do. Whether that's just being able to count out your pennies that you've got and to make the pounds, whether that's through English, being able to put sentences together and make sure that they're trying to articulate properly. And then IT skills, like I say, ever-growing industry, lots of stuff now is computer-based, and it's, if anything, it makes life easier having that. Lots more tools you can use, which ties into things like English and maths. You've got your calculators on there, you've got your spell checks and dictionaries and kind of stuff. So if you improve on all three of them, it just makes life so much easier for everyone. So it says gaining a better understanding of maths, English and IT can help boost confidence of learners and allow for a higher chance to retain future information. So they're not having to worry about how you spell or how you get that maths sum completed, because they've already got that basic understanding. They can fly through that and they can go on to that next part of the information that they need to learn, rather than having two things to struggle with. Explain why it's important to promote appropriate behaviour and respect. So respect and appropriate behaviour is key principles in everyday life. It's something that we hope that we all display and would want to be displayed back to it and received back to it. We should all be shown respect and the appropriate behaviour for where you are in that situation. And it's no different for the classroom. We should be, I would expect respect from everyone in the room, and them to be displaying the right behaviours as well. And I would want to be doing that back to them as well. Yeah, I need to be leading the line and showing how to be the right person from the front of the class. When a positive environment is attained, people feel safe and able to be their authentic self. So as going back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you've already got, if you make that positive environment, you're making people feel safe, straight away you can start jumping up that tier system and looking at the other things that we need to look at for esteem, making sure that they're feeling good about themselves and that kind of stuff as well. So showing that respect and the correct behaviours, it's going to make that positive environment, which is going to be the perfect place to learn. Explain ways to engage and motivate learners. So engaging and motivating your learners is fundamental to ensure they get the most out of each session. There's nothing worse than having someone sit there and just don't want to be there, who doesn't want to be motivated, they don't want to engage with the class. They're not going to get very much from it. So it's trying to break it down and to find out what their motivations are, what gets them engaged, and try and play on that. So you're using your teaching style and trying to adapt to them as individuals to find out what really gets them going and what makes them tick. So trying to get that little bit out of them so you can give them a bit of motivation and get them engaged, and then they're going to start learning and taking more information in. If they're not going to want to engage and not going to want to be motivated, they're going to take in very little information from your session. So adapting teaching styles to the individual, keeping content fresh and new. Outlining clear goals is just some strategies to keep the learner engaged and motivated. So as it says, there's nothing worse than death by PowerPoint. We want to try and keep things fresh, we want to try and update things, get people involved. So it might be changing your style of getting people on their feet, understand that it might be a room full of people who are all sport enthusiasts, getting them up and trying to get them involved in some sort of activity on their feet, moving around. That might engage them and motivate them more than if they just sat there looking at the screen all day long. And then vice versa, you might have the opposite, where some people will take more information in from that and will be motivated by seeing the information and seeing the data. Yeah, and it'll engage them, whereas getting them on their feet might be something completely out of your comfort zone. So it's just trying to understand the individuals for who they are and then tailor yourself to that. Summarise ways to establish ground rules. So negotiate and agree ground rules from the start. So as soon as we get into that room and introduce ourselves, it's just about trying to lay down what you expect of them or what the rules should be. Now that's a two-way thing. So rather than me bartering over and saying, I want you to do this, this, and this, and this, I might have fundamental things that I need from them, but understand that I can barter with them as well and find out what they would like. So how long would you like for a break today? Yeah, depends on what time you might be getting away at the end of the day. Laying down them ground rules, would you like to have extra coffee breaks, that kind of stuff, that's completely up to you. You let me know what you want and then I'll tailor the session around that, and then we'll lay down them laws. What do we expect from language? We don't want to be hearing anyone being abusive to each other, but can we have a bit of banter, can we have a bit of a laugh? Yeah. If you don't want that, if you want to be completely serious, please let me know and we'll just go that way as well. So being able to barter with them and understand what they want from you as well. Outlining your expectations to the class. So like I say, just let them know that we want to be respectful and we want to be showing good behaviours, as it was previously said before. But that's what I expect from them, that's what I expect myself to be doing to them as well. So that's what I'm telling them, that's what I'm going to be trying to embody and put forward to them. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your time today, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.